Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for January 13, 2026. I'm your host, Walter. We begin with the ongoing situation in Iran, where economic sanctions continue to take a toll on the country. Our team of expert journalists and analysts has been providing ongoing coverage and analysis of the latest developments. Next, we look at the global politics landscape, where Russia is actively working to expand its influence in Central Asia. President Vladimir Putin's efforts to counterbalance the growing influence of other global powers, including the United States and China, have led to increased tensions with neighboring countries, particularly Ukraine. Finally, in France, far-right leader Marine Le Pen is facing an appeal trial over charges of embezzling European Parliament funds. The outcome of this trial will determine whether Le Pen can run in the 2027 presidential election. If found guilty again, she may be replaced by her young protégé, Jordan Bardella. These stories and more are being closely watched by our team, and we'll continue to bring you updates and analysis as they unfold. And that's a wrap. Our top stories for tonight: Iran's economic struggles, Russia's expanding influence, and Marine Le Pen's appeal trial. And as always, we'll leave you with this thought: in a world of constant change, staying informed is more important than ever. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and then shall know it's right now. Firstly, we've been following the crisis in Iran, where anti-regime protests have led to a violent crackdown by the government, resulting in hundreds of deaths and a severe communications blackout. The European Union has announced plans to impose further sanctions on the Iranian government, while the international community grapples with how to respond to the crisis. Secondly, we've been reporting on the escalating situation in Venezuela, where the United States' involvement in the ousting of President Nicolas Maduro has sparked intense debate and raised questions about the implications for global politics. The U.S. provided critical support to opposition forces, but critics argue that the use of military force sets a worrying precedent. Lastly, we've also been covering the humanitarian crisis in Iran, where protests have led to widespread arrests, torture, and disappearances. The international community is calling for calm and restraint, with the United Nations and European Union urging all parties to engage in peaceful dialogue. These stories highlight the complexities and challenges of global politics, and we'll continue to bring you in-depth analysis and updates as they unfold. Now, for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. In tonight's special report, we're summarizing the key developments in the banking sector over the past few days. We've seen JP Chase release its fourth quarter earnings report, which showed a mixed bag of results. While revenue was up 2% from last year, it fell slightly below analyst expectations. However, net income beat forecasts, coming in at $85 billion or $2.57 per share. The bank's consumer and community banking division saw a 3% increase in revenue, driven by higher interest rates and strong loan growth. But what's really making headlines is JP Morgan's decision to acquire a rival bank's credit card portfolio in a deal worth billions of dollars. This move is seen as a bold bet on the future of consumer lending, with significant implications for the banking industry as a whole. Meanwhile, President Trump's recent call for major credit card lenders to cap interest rates at 18% for a year has sent shockwaves through the sector. Shares of JP Morgan, Citigroup, and other big card lenders took a hit on Monday, and we're keeping a close eye on how the banking sector responds to these developments. As CEO Jamie Dimon cautioned, markets may be underappreciating potential hazards, including complex geopolitical conditions, sticky inflation, and elevated asset prices. But despite these risks, the U.S. economy remains resilient, with consumers continuing to spend and businesses remaining healthy. We'll continue to bring you updates on the banking sector and the broader economy as more news becomes available. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we took a journey through the cosmos with the Hubble Space Telescope, exploring the wonders of the universe and reflecting on our place within it. We marvel at the telescope's discoveries and looked forward to the many more secrets it will reveal in the years to come. In our second story, we examined the challenges facing the United States' space program, including budget cuts, political instability, and a lack of clear direction. We also discussed China's growing presence in space exploration and how it may be a wake-up call for the U.S. to reevaluate its priorities and invest more in its space program. Finally, we delved into a groundbreaking discovery made possible by the James Webb Space Telescope, which has shed new light on the behavior of supermassive black holes. Specifically, researchers found that the emissions from the black hole at the center of the Circanus galaxy are primarily dominated by its dusty torus rather than outflows. These stories remind us of the awe-inspiring complexity and beauty of the universe, and we're excited to continue exploring and learning more about the cosmos in the days to come. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Firstly, we discussed the future of Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, whose contract situation has sparked debate among fans. With 1 year left on his deal, plus an option for 2027, Tomlin's future remains uncertain, and some are calling for change. We also reflected on the Steelers' wildcard loss to the Houston Texans, which may have marked the final game for legendary quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Though Rodgers has yet to confirm his retirement plans, his legacy as one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history is already cemented. In other news, Ohio State University's football team has bolstered its roster with significant additions from the transfer portal. The Buckeyes have secured commitments from top players like Terry Moore, Hunter Welsing, Justin Martin, and Alabama defensive linemen Smith and Rousseau. These new recruits bring much-needed experience and talent to the team, setting the stage for an exciting season ahead. As we continue to monitor these stories, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts on Mike Tomlin's future, Aaron Rodgers' legacy, and Ohio State's chances in the upcoming season. Use the hashtag AIDailyPress on social media to join the conversation. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. Good evening. I'm Charles, your guide through the stories that touch the heart of America and beyond. Tonight, we've got a trio of fascinating tales to share with you. First, we delved into the world of politics and social justice, exploring the complexities of immigration reform in the United States. Our story shed light on the human side of this contentious issue, highlighting the struggles and triumphs of those affected by it. Next, we took a culinary journey through the heart of America, visiting a beloved institution, TGI Fridays. With their ambitious expansion plan underway, we spoke with President Phil Broad about the brand's commitment to innovation, tradition, and bringing people together over great food and drinks. Finally, we traveled to the ancient city of Amasra in Turkey, where archaeologists made a remarkable discovery that's redefining our understanding of Medusa, the mythological goddess. A smiling depiction of Medusa, found on a marble column, challenges conventional wisdom and offers a fresh perspective on the cultural narrative of the time. These stories remind us that there's always more to explore, discover, and learn from the world around us. Join us next time on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast as we continue to uncover the hidden gems and fascinating tales that shape our lives. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, we talked about Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard's remarkable relationship, which has been making headlines for their commitment to open communication and trust. While some may argue that their level of openness is not realistic for all couples, it's undeniable that their dedication to each other has made their relationship a subject of fascination and admiration. Next, we dove into the world of design, where innovators like Lulu and Georgia are pushing back against algorithmic sameness by creating unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. This refreshingly old-school approach to design is giving the finger to the status quo and resulting in stunning, authentic creations that are selling out quickly. Lastly, we explored the slow fashion movement, which is all about embracing individuality, self-expression, and sustainability. Designers and artisans are creating handmade, one-of-a-kind items that not only look good but also make you feel good, knowing they were made with love, care, and respect for the environment. With influencers like Rihanna and AAP Rocky promoting this movement, it's a start towards making fashion more inclusive, sustainable, and fun. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we reported on the alarming rate of habitat destruction and its impact on species survival, highlighting the case of Australia's devastating environmental policies that threaten the country's unique biodiversity. Secondly, we shared some rare good news from the world of conservation, an increase in births among North Atlantic right whales. With 15 new calves identified this winter, there's a glimmer of hope for the recovery of this endangered species. However, we also emphasized the need for sustained conservation efforts to protect these magnificent creatures from ongoing threats such as entanglement in fishing gear and collisions with ships. Lastly, we broke the news of a groundbreaking discovery in China, where a team of paleontologists uncovered a previously unknown species of bird, Bamionornis, dating back 160 million years. This remarkable find sheds new light on the evolution of birds and has sent shockwaves through the scientific community. These stories remind us of the delicate balance between conservation and destruction, as well as the importance of continued research and exploration to deepen our understanding of the natural world. We'll continue to follow these stories and bring you updates as more information becomes available. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Nature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.